Welcome, everyone, to this Listening Part 2 Daily Life Conversation Analysis. Before we begin, I want to remind you that I will be following the Listening Part 2 Daily Life Conversation Tips and Strategies Guide. Now, there's a full video in the CELPIP library about that guide, Listening Part 2. And this video here will give you some tips and strategies which will be very useful for you for listening part 2, and it will explain some things that you can do to make sure you get a perfect score in that part. Also, in the CELPIP library, you can find some free examples, okay, and free material to practice more. For now, I will only be going through the pages of that guide. The guide tells you how to listen effectively, what you can do. Very important. Yes, full sentence mode, not vocabulary mode. This is very important for lower levels. Also, what information can we focus on? Part 2, daily life conversation, understanding the situation and the context. It will always be important, okay? Try to understand ideas more than just vocabulary. When we listen to the questions, yes, make sure we listen and repeat the question to make sure we understand it clearly, okay? And responding to the questions, lots of times the words or the questions are confused by words you listen to. We need to avoid that, and we need to try to listen for full ideas, full sentences, and that way we can respond to questions more effectively, okay? Okay, now let's get started with today's analysis. Let's look at today's listening part 2 daily conversation example. And we're here in the CELPIP library, and we're going to do a sample from volume 6 called Fruit. Okay? Let's go there. Okay, everyone, let's remember that I will be playing the audio so you can listen, and I will be playing the questions so you can answer the questions. And then after we're done playing the audio and all the questions, then we will review the questions together. So this is an opportunity for you to listen and answer the questions as we go. Okay? And I'm just going to be blowing it up here so you can see the answers better and the questions. Just to here. Okay, so let's get started.
Listening to a daily life conversation. You will hear a conversation followed by 5 questions. Listen to each question. You will hear the question only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Excuse me, please. Do you know if these berries are edible? I was hoping to find some wild raspberries, but came upon these instead. I think they might be blackberries or elderberries.
They do look a little like raspberries, don't they? Except they're black or a very dark purple instead of red. Let me check my guidebook.
Thanks. I was hoping to make some raspberry jam, but I could make blackberry jam or elderberry jam instead.
Oh, don't make jam. The sugar is so bad for you. Just mush the berries and spread them right onto your toast. Oh, here we are. Look.
Ah, I'd say blackberries or black raspberries. I didn't know there were black raspberries. In any case, they're not elderberries because elderberries look more like blueberries.
I agree. Raspberries and blackberries look like bunches of tiny bubbles like these. But hang on while I check to see if there's anything that looks like blackberries that's poisonous.
Good idea. I wouldn't want to eat one and then, oh, look, a bee!
Oh, are you allergic to bee stings? I can try to keep it away from you.
No, I'm okay. I was just surprised because they're so rare. Last I read, they still don't know why the bees are dying.
Yeah, that's what I read too. They think it might be a combination of things: parasites, pesticides, pathogens, but they don't really know. It's quite alarming, isn't it?
Apples, cucumbers, carrots, almonds, all of these crops and more depend on bees for pollination. What will we do without bees? It's sad to think we may not have any more apples or almonds.
Or that those foods will be way more expensive because we'll have to pollinate the crops ourselves. Let's really enjoy our berries, which we probably have thanks to this busy little bee.
Okay, let's get to the question.
Question 1.
How does the conversation begin?
The woman offers assistance. The man requests information. The woman asks for directions. The man introduces himself.
Question 2.
What does the woman believe about the man's jam?
He will make it from blueberries. He will need a lot of berries. He will add a lot of sugar to it. He will make it with a little honey.
Question 3.
Why does the woman look at her book the second time?
To check if the berries they found are safe to eat, to read some information about bees dying, to see what a black raspberry looks like, to find a list of foods that need bees to grow.
Question 4.
What do the man and woman have in common?
They are both allergic to bees. They are both grateful for bees. They are both afraid of bees. They are both optimistic about bees.
Question 5.
When discussing bees, what do they talk about the most?
Their disappearance, their ability to sting, their habitat, their daily routine. Okay, so now let's review the answers. Okay, then let's see. Question number 1. Let's review. I've got the script over here. How does the conversation begin? So, how do they start the conversation? So, I remember here, excuse me, please, do you know if these berries are edible? Edible means, can we eat them? Are we able to eat them? I was hoping to find some wild raspberries, but came upon these instead. I think they might be blackberries or elderberries. So then it looks like not offers assist, though not the woman is offering. The man requests information. He's asking for information, not gives to asks for directions, and not the man introducing himself. I think maybe the man is at a store and the woman works at the store, garden store. Now let's look at question 2. What does the woman believe about the man's jam? Okay, I remember something about maybe too sweet. They look a little like raspberries, don't they? Except they're black or a very dark purple instead of red. Let me check my guidebook. Thanks. I was hoping to make some raspberry jam, but I could make blackberry jam or elderberry jam instead. And then the woman says, oh no, don't make jam. The sugar is so bad for you. Just mush the berries and spread them right on to your toast. Oh, here we are. Look. So let's look. He will make it from blueberries. Well, he's thinking about elderberries or blackberries. He will need a lot of berries. She didn't say no. He will add a lot of sugar to it. This seems like the answer. She says, don't put sugar. That's not good for you. Not honey. So C is the answer. Okay. And what about question 3? Why does the woman look at her book the second time? Okay, so she looked at the book over here to check what kind of berries they were. And I agree. Raspberries and blackberries look like bunches of tiny bubbles, like these. But hang on while I check to see if there's anything that looks like blackberries that's poisonous. So she's checking to see if anything that looks like blackberries, to see if it's poisonous. Okay. So didn't get all that answer there. Let's look at that one again. Just spread it out there to check if the berries they found are safe to eat. So she's looking to see if it's poisonous. Poisonous means not good to eat. Poisonous. So yes, she's checking to see if they are safe to eat, those berries, okay? To read some information about bees dying, to see what a black raspberry looks like, to find a list of foods that need bees to grow, okay? They do talk about that over here. Well, now that I think about it, maybe they are not at a store. Looks like they may have met in the forest, maybe, because they found berries. And the lady, she has a guidebook. Interesting. So she has a guidebook about berries. So she's looking and checking to see about them. And okay, so over here they talk about, he sees a bee. Oh, are you allergic to bees? Okay. So, but first she's checking to see if they are poisonous or not. So that's why the answer is A. Question 4. What do the man and woman have in common? Okay. They are both allergic to bees. They are both grateful. Well, allergic to bees, the woman asked. She asked here, are you allergic to bees? That's all. And then over here, they are both grateful for bees. So they said, and they were speaking about how they are thankful because bees help grow fruits and vegetables. That's what it said over here. Apples, cucumbers, almonds, all these crops, foods we grow, and more depend on bees for pollination. What will we do without bees? And then in the end, let's really enjoy our berries, which we probably have thanks to this busy little bee. Okay. So grateful. Grateful means thankful. They are thankful. Grateful. Not afraid and optimistic. So optimistic means positive thinking. But they are pessimistic. They are negative thinking. They have negative thinking about bees because they're dying. Okay, so B is the answer. And question 5, when discussing bees, what do they talk about the most? Well, they talk about bees growing foods. Over here, they talk about bees disappearing. Still don't know why bees are dying or dying. And they are concerned about that. But let's see what the choices are. While they talk about their disappearance and why are they disappearing, I remember he said over here, they think it might be a combination of things. Parasites, pesticides, pathogens, those are like chemicals. And some diseases for bees. Okay. It's quite alarming, concerning, worrisome. Okay. So they do talk about their disappearance. What are the other choices? Stinging, that they can sting or bite you? No. Their habitat, where they live? No. And their daily routine, what the bees do daily? No. So their disappearance is the answer. Okay, everyone, it's a very good idea to practice reading the script. Reading the script, this is the kind of conversation which is a natural daily conversation that could happen. This is what daily conversation part 2 is about. So this conversation, it'd be a very good idea for you to practice reading the script and also practice understanding why the answer is the answer and the questions are the questions. So I will leave a link in the description box with a version 2 of this listening. Okay, same listening, just different answers. Okay, different answers to this listening, which will really be good for building your comprehension. And you can find that practice in the description box, as well as our link to our library. Our library has over 60 examples, lots of examples of listening part 2, including all the present and past CELPIP samples, okay, as well as our own. So very good practice for you, and I will leave a link in the description box to our CELPIP library. And let's remember, practice makes perfect. I would like to remind you that if you're looking for some more listening, reading, writing, or speaking CELPIP exam practice, then you should definitely subscribe to our CELPIP library. The CELPIP library has hundreds of examples of listening, reading, writing, and speaking, which will help you develop your score, whatever the score you need. Also, the library contains vocabulary, listening skills, reading skills, grammar, and writing skills exercises, which will really help you improve your general understanding of English and also for the exam. So, and you can purchase a 1 month pass or a 2 month or a 3 month subscription for a very low price. And of course, if you really enjoyed this content, then please like this video, share it, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way we will keep on producing more CELPIP analysis for your development. Have a great day.